Today, on Be Something Wonderful, allowing your desired reality to find you. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. In two of my sessions yesterday, they were very different topics, but they had the same question. And they said, Tom, when unwanted outcomes and unwanted realities, when I see those, and those happen, it just feels like to allow them and to accept them. Feels like it almost feels like I'm giving up my desire or somehow I'm wanting it less. Well, guys, I want to talk about these ideas and more today. So here's what I want to say, that it really is never about giving up your desire. I've said this, and it's not about wanting it less. It's rather allowing the possibility of an unwanted outcome, or the opposite of what you want, which what both of you said yesterday, the opposite of what you want to exist. I want to cover this and more today. And here's the key. For any time this happens, remember, you're a new version of yourself. So it's not about judging the outcomes. It's not about even wanting, it's not about that you have to give up anything. And it's not you wanting what you want less. You're a new version of yourself. It's being the version of yourself for whom that desired reality is already real. Once you're in that version, it doesn't matter what happens in 3D reality. You're living it. Hear this. You are either reacting to the old you or creating the new you. So when unwanted realities, or the opposite of what you judge to be the opposite of what you want, comes up, allowing it and allowing it to exist, accepting it as one quantum possibility puts you in your power, puts you in that new version of yourself. Hear this, but when you react to it, you're now reacting to the old you. You're now, as opposed to creating the new you. Remember, every time you see an old reality and put again in the spotlight or in your light, your desired reality, you're being that version of yourself that you want to be. You're creating the new you in every moment. Hear this. You're either allowing your new desired reality to find you, or you are perpetuating the unwanted reality. Wow, that's big. You're either allowing your new desired reality to find you by being the new version of yourself, by not reacting to the old you, by not reacting to unwanted realities or opposites, because remember, those opposites are telling you who you were, not who you are now. It's the old you, right? So you're either allowing your new desired reality to find you, or you're perpetuating the unwanted reality, right? You are either looking through the eyes of the new you or reacting as the old version of yourself. Wow. You're either looking through the eyes of that new you, that new version of yourself, or you're reacting as the old version of yourself. That's big. Accepting and allowing unwanted events and conditions or realities doesn't mean you're giving up on your desire, or you are wanting something less, or you're wanting it less, or wanting something less. It means you're allowing the possibility to exist without identifying with it as who you are. You're allowing that quantum possibility out of an infinite number of quantum possibilities to exist in the field, in the quantum field, in the God field, in the field of all possibilities, right? Without it identifying as who you are. You're a new version of yourself, right? Give up the resistance of trying to control or force outcomes, people, events, and conditions by focusing on what you love and your desired end. That's how you do it. We talked about this. This has been really a thread the last couple days, that the answer to everything is your focus. Your focus creates reality. Focusing on your desired end, that gives up, then you're giving up the resistance, and you're not controlling or forcing outcomes, right? You're in your end. That's big. The paradox is that this gives you complete control that can't be taken away or shaken. It gives you real control. Giving up control by focusing on your wish fulfilled, by focusing on your desired end, by putting your focus on what you want and only what you want. You give up trying to control or manipulate or force outcomes, and that gives you total control. Control that can never be shaken and never be taken. That's big. So, and then and you're always asking in both of these cases. One was with her boyfriend that she felt that she'll call him or text him and he doesn't call right back. And she feels like he doesn't love her as much as she loves him, right? So she's wondering, what do I do, right? There's nothing ever to do in the other case, but always action to take. This comes from Magician's Way. Natural or logical next step. I want to hit this in a second. The other case was a dream job. I just wanted to lay that out. And he got turned down for 2 jobs he thought were his dream job, right? Didn't get them. And he's trying to manipulate it. He's trying to in both cases, he was calling a lot, asking friends who work there, trying to manipulate the circumstances. What do I do? There's nothing to do but always action to take. So it's not about not taking action. I've never said don't take action. It's not about that. But that doing that you're doing, trying to force them to hire you or trying to force your boyfriend to, quote, show that he loves you, that's doing, that's not taking action, right? The only action for the situation with your specific person or with your boyfriend is to demonstrate that love, right? Without the expectation or without the condition that he sends you a text right away. And in the other case is just interview for the job. Get into that place where you know it's already yours. You still gotta, it doesn't mean don't interview or don't send in your resume or anything like that. That is the step. But after that, then you're in your desired end. In both cases, imagine and live in your desired end. And then any action that you take after that will seem natural, will be the natural next step, right? So doing implies you're trying to make something happen. You're trying to force a desired outcome, right? You feel you need to do something when you're viewing reality through the eyes of the old version of yourself. In both cases, the cases of the dream job, the cases of the boyfriend not calling right back or texting right back, you're looking at it through the old version of yourself, through old assumptions, through old beliefs, right? You are stuck in the swing circle, as we talked about the last few days, right? With golf, you're stuck practicing, trying to do things, trying to make it happen, right? You're stuck in the old reality. You're stuck in the old version of yourself. So as the new version of yourself, you're focused on your new desired imagined end of fulfillment. That's all. That's all. And then whatever you need to do while you're in that, whatever your action to take, not need to do, action to take will be natural. It will be a natural next step. It will be an obvious action, right? If it's the dream job, it's about sending in your resume, right, to find your dream job, because your dream job will find you, right? It's about interviewing. If it's for your SP, it's about sending a loving text and then letting it go, right? Not trying to manage the outcome and manipulate it by continuing to send texts or confronting him and saying, why don't you love me? None of that. You stand in that knowing, right? Not necessarily what feels good or makes you look good as judged by others, but what is naturally aligned with your desired end. Heart-based action rather than thought-based action. This is important on any action. It's not necessarily what feels good or makes you look good as judged by others. Sometimes we think, oh, that feels good, but you're still trying to force it. Like I think one of you on this one phone call, you said on this one session where you were actually trying to get with somebody, and so you were trying to get them to be interested in you, and you said, well, it just felt good that I hadn't heard from her in a while. This is another case of a specific person, and so it just felt good to send her a message to say, hey, how you doing? It may feel good, but it's still an action to force something to happen. to force this person to like you or be interested in you. Do you hear this, right? What is naturally aligned with your desired end, or heart-based action rather than thought-based action, will be obvious. For the example, for the dream job, the imagined end of being that version of you in that new job. That's your imagined end. You're in the new job. What's the action to take? Interview, apply for it, right? That's the obvious action. Right? And maybe there's a thank you letter after the interview. All of those are natural. Those are obvious steps. Anything else like calling or you keep calling, or you're trying to influence it by talking to somebody else in the company, you're trying to befriend them, you're sending them gifts. Everything else is doing, and it's trying to force the outcome. Do you see this, guys? This is big today. So the only reason you would try to control or react to events and conditions is if you believe the outer world is the cause and you are the effect, is the cause of what you desire and you are the effect. Events and conditions don't come out of the blue, they come out of you. I've talked about this, right? You perceive them because your inner world corresponds to them on some level. That's all. It doesn't mean you're consciously or deliberately creating or attracting things. It's because on some level, your inner world corresponds with it. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it. Unwanted events and conditions are powerful creative force, an opportunity for you to choose again, to stay focused and persist in your desired end, to respond with the love of what you want. Hear this. It's not about reacting, it's about responding with the love of what you want in all cases, right? That's powerful, right? To persist and stay focused in that desired end. Remember, many times what you are thinking and feeling and reacting to are based on limiting old assumptions and beliefs, old versions of yourself. Example, your partner or that specific person, your boyfriend or girlfriend, doesn't call or message you right back, or as much as you think that you message them or call them, right? The feeling and thoughts are, you're having feelings and thoughts of being unloved, not appreciated. Those are based on assumptions and belief that, oh, he or she doesn't love me as much as I love him or her, right? Rather than focusing on your desired end, that mutually amazing loving relationship where it's shared, where you're mutually in love, and there's no keeping score, your flimsy belief and assumption is filtering out all other potential outcomes. That's all you can see because you're filtering out all other possibilities, all other possible realities, right? You're seeing him or her from the old, unappreciated, unloved version of yourself. Do you see it? Once you assume that new version, once you assume that new reality, then you're not going to look at that not getting a call right away or a text right away as unwanted. Do you hear this? You're in that new version. The 3D events always confirm your beliefs and assumptions about them. That's why it's not focusing on those false assumptions and those false feelings and beliefs keep you off of your desired end, keep you from what you imagine, right? Rest in that imaginal image, right? That desired end. Put your focus there. You lose focus when you start believing those thoughts and feelings, believing those false assumptions, right? So try this. I've talked about this in previous videos. Choose your imagined end, a new version of yourself, before an upcoming event, a dinner, a meeting, an evening out, whatever it is, right? Try this. Choose your imagined end. Remember, in that dinner that's coming, that event that you're going to, can have an infinite number of outcomes. You get to decide. Many times we don't pre-pave, right? We don't even think about it. Have fun with it. Call out some specifics. Be ridiculous. Maybe you're going to call out that someone says a certain word or takes a certain action, right? Create the evening as you want it to go or as you don't want it to go. Have fun. Maybe you create something totally ridiculous that normally you wouldn't want. But for fun, you're creating it. Do you see the power in this? All events and circumstances are a portal into the field of infinite possibilities. All of them, right? Any single event can take place in an infinite number of realities with an infinite number of variations. And it's all happening right now, right? The outcome depends on which version of you shows up, which desired end you're imagining, right? Be outrageous. Blur the line between wanted and unwanted, desired and undesired. Show yourself that you are, show your 3D self that you are in command of your reality. You get to call it, right? Take the pressure off all of this expectation that things have to be perfect in the way you exactly want them to be. Instead, blur the lines between what you consider perfect and imperfect, wanted and unwanted, desired and undesired. Call it, have fun, be ridiculous. Choose your imagined end and your new version of yourself before an upcoming event. Who's going to show up at that dinner? Who's going to show up at that meeting? Who's going to show up at that evening out or that event? And then, based on the version that shows out, call some events, how they're going to respond to you. Right? Be specific about a few things. Call it out. Be ridiculous. Have fun. That's what we're talking about. Allow that new reality, your desire, that new version of yourself, right? Allow that new reality to find you. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button. Like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. You can hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful. We also have a group called the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors. You can follow us there at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, or our website anytime at tomcaron.com or besomethingwonderful.com. With great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, creators, until next time, see you soon.